Hi everyone, good morning. It's Miss Jude. and Today on Wednesday, I wanted to talk about spring and some other things. But first, we're having spring right now, and you can tell because things are starting to turn green and we're starting to see a few flowers. So spring is here. I don't know if you've seen any tulips. I had a couple tulips. They don't last very long in my house because squirrels go and chew them off. But we've had daffodils and tulips. I hope you've seen some outside. Maybe when you go for your walk. This is a crocus. It's one of the first flowers that comes up. And sometimes it'll come up even if there's a little bit of snow on the ground. I think the snow is gone, but you never know around here. It could snow even tomorrow or the next day. I think it's going to rain. So it could possibly snow, and sometimes the crocuses will still come up even when there's snow. It's kind of exciting to see a crocus because you know that means that spring is coming or spring is here. There it is. That's a pretty yellow one coming up even with the snow on the ground. There they are. They come up in the spring. That's when you know it's springtime. And the snow starts to melt. I don't know about you, but my backyard, the snow melted, then it came, then it melted, then it came. Every morning I wake up, I'm not sure when I look out the window if it's going to be snow or not. Of course, I don't pay attention to the weather forecast, so that's why it's always a surprise to me. Yeah, and when it snows, then it gets sloppy because there's so much extra water. So sometimes in the spring around here, we have too much water. And the clean snow melts, and there's all this kind of dirty, yucky snow. We can't wait for that to go away because it's not very pretty. And it gets wet. There's all the snow is melting. Sometimes it's raining, and so there's extra water. Yeah, this is a little tiny brook, but in the spring it's filled with water because all the snow is melting. And the ground was holding water, it was frozen, and now it's melting. And then sometimes we've got problems with water. We get flooding. Knock on wood, I don't think we've had much problems this year, but sometimes in the past we've had problems with flooding. And when it floods, the streets are filled with water and it splashes all over. Sometimes it's not good for your cars. It's not safe to travel when the water is so deep like that. Oh my, here it is. The water is flooding so much that the man is using a boat to travel down the street. Looks like he's offering to help. Maybe these folks need some help. They're trying to make sure that their house doesn't get flooded. That's a battle. Uh-oh. That's a car under the water, all the way up, almost to its roof. So he needed to get out of that flooded street, but he didn't. And now his car is stuck and it's probably not going to work again. Yeah, it's a mess when the snow is melting, but it's still there. You have to jump over it. Here's another street that's closed because of all the flooding. Again, it usually happens now if it starts raining and the snow is melting. There's too much water. Sometimes it goes in people's houses and they get water in their basement. Oh, I used to have a problem with that, and Miss Laura used to tell me about her other house where it flooded all the time. And then you have to go and clean it up and try and dry vac it, and oh, look at this. Here's the bed. I'm thinking it's in the basement. I hope so. And it's all flooded. What a mess. Oh, here's a basement storage area, and you can see, oh, I don't know if that's a mattress or whatever, but things get ruined and you have to throw them out because they got all wet. And it gets muddy because all of that water turns the dirt and soil into mud. So you have to be careful where you're walking. It helps to wear boots. Some people might like the mud, although if this dog has to come inside, he's going to need a good bath. And if you're using a wheelchair, the mud is difficult. It messes up your wheels and it's hard to push in the mud. So it's not good for people in wheelchairs to have muddy areas. But you start to notice the little blossoms and leaves coming out on the trees and bushes. And if you look at them, you'll see they're starting to turn green or different colors if it's going to be a flower. And these are turning yellow, it looks like, and pretty soon they just keep getting bigger and bigger and more colorful. Oh, those are so pretty. It's a beautiful flower, so much better than when the trees don't have any leaves on them in the winter. Now they're filled with leaves and beautiful flowers, and you know it's spring. And you can plant grass. A lot of people think spring is the best time to plant grass. So if you want to, if you got some bare patches, you can plant some grass seed. Spring is a good time for that. Oh, that's beautiful. See all those tulips and daffodils? They're so colorful in the spring. And the birds come out or come back. They start singing. You can hear them when you go outside. And that's one way you know spring is here because you can hear the birds. And people start to garden. Not quite yet, but we're getting close where you can plant flowers in the garden. I have a neighbor who has some pansies planted outside. Pansies can handle the cold a little bit. It's very exciting for gardeners in the spring. And in the spring, we think about baby animals, we think about new life. We have holidays like Easter and Passover, and I can't remember if Ramadan is now. I don't remember when Ramadan is. But in the spring, we think about babies and new life. Oh, there's a bunny, cute bunny outside with the daffodils. More bunnies. Do you see bunnies outside when you go for a walk? I know I do. And people are just enjoying, especially in the Midwest, because we just got through a winter. We just love the spring when it warms up and there's more sunshine and there's flowers and leaves. Nobody is more appreciative of spring than somebody from the Midwest. That's us. You can go outside. It's a lot easier. You don't have to wear all those coats. You can enjoy the warm sun and the fresh air. It's nice to be outside in the spring. Go for a walk. You don't have to worry about snow. You might have to worry about mud and a little bit of wetness, but so much better. And look how green and pretty it is. But now we all have the stay-at-home order from our governor. And so that changes some things about spring. We have to stay home. And how are we going to deal with that? We might have different feelings about staying at home. Some of us thought we would go back to school by now, but we're not going to go back to school. It's more important that we stay home so we don't get sick and get each other sick. So, how do people feel about that? I think everybody's going to feel a little differently. Some people might feel great about it. They might think, hallelujah, I don't want to go to school. Maybe one of your favorite people to be with is your mom or dad or your brother or sister and grandparents, and they live with you, so you get to see them all the time. So sometimes people are pretty happy about the stay-at-home order. Or maybe you just feel okay about it. You don't feel good or bad, you just feel okay. And that's okay. Or you could be pretty sad about it. Maybe you're missing your friends, or you just want to go back to school and have your routine and be with your teachers and learn all the things and do the activities. So you could be feeling sad about it. That's okay. It's okay to feel sad because for some of us, this is kind of crummy. It stinks. Yeah. Sometimes when kids, maybe they don't understand, why aren't we going back to school? This doesn't make any sense to me. And they feel sad when parents say, nope, the bus is not coming today. No school today. Oof, they're sad about that. Some people are confused. They just don't understand why. What is COVID-19? Why can't I go to school? Where's the bus? And they're confused. This just doesn't make sense to me. You keep telling me I can't go to school. I don't understand why. Or you could be really mad. I'm mad. I want to go to school. I want to see the bus driver. I want to see my friends. Why can't I go? Stop telling me I can't go. You could be really mad about it. Some people are really mad that they have to stay at home and they're protesting and complaining and telling their government they don't want to stay home anymore. You could be very frustrated by this. You're just tired of it, and there doesn't seem to be an answer, and it just keeps going on, and you're getting frustrated. Yeah, she's very frustrated that this is still going on. And all of those feelings are okay. It's okay to have all of those feelings because that's how you feel. You can't stop how you feel. It's appropriate to respond appropriately, and we can talk more about that in the future. But I know I tell all the kids and the staff and myself that one way to handle your feelings if you're very upset and you want to calm down, or you're really upset and other people are saying, I think you need to calm down. Maybe you're being very loud or disruptive, is to take some deep breaths. And I know I say this over and over again, and so do many, many other health practitioners, but it is the easiest thing to do. You can do it by yourself, you don't need anything. But a lot of times it takes practice because we're not used to breathing deeply. So I'm going to take 3 deep breaths, and you guys can follow along. First, you breathe in through your nose like you're smelling a flower, and you fill your lungs as big as you can and you stick out your belly, and then you hold it for a second, and then you squeeze all the air out of your lungs like you're blowing out a candle. And then you do it 3 times, but you slow way down and you try and fill your lungs. So let's try 3 of them. So first one, 2, 3. I hope you can all use that. Think about it when you're starting to feel upset and you want to calm down, that taking deep breaths is always helpful if you want to feel a little bit better. All right, see you next week. Bye, everyone.